again, moving into the Shawneetown area. This is going to be with us in our area for just about 5 more minutes, if that. So we have a new tornado warning for this. Well, it's not in Hardin County. It's in extreme eastern Gallatin County near Shawneetown, but it was with that storm we were watching in Hardin County. It looks like it has re-strengthened.
Radar indicated.
Yeah, radar indicated tornado, and it is about to cross the Ohio River and move kind of out of our area. Again, Shawneetown, if there's any viewers in Shawneetown watching right now, this is moving through your area right now. Matter of fact, here is that possible rotation right here, and it is now crossed out of, there it is. You can see it's moving right along the river, right along the river. So extreme eastern Gallatin County is where we're concerned with, and moving out of our area towards the Indiana vicinity. But again, a tornado warning has been issued for this storm. It is racing off to the, Brian, what do they track that for?
55.
55?
Might want to check on that cell that's down to the southwest near
yeah, we're going to go back to Arlington. Boy, there's that tornado. You can really see that is a tight spin up. So if you are in extreme eastern Gallatin County, you definitely want to be in your safe spot. There's a tornado that's going to move right along the Ohio River, right near where the Wabash and the Ohio River come together. There is where that possible tornado is coming. But we see that tight rotation, and that is going to just clip our far eastern parts of Gallatin County. Now we've got 2 tornadoes that or 2 storms we're very concerned with because they're going to be with us a while. One is the storm that is moving through Paducah right now that has produced damage. It has produced a tornado. And another storm that is moving through the Arlington area right now that is, look at that little hook that is moving towards Cunningham. We had talked about Cunningham earlier, and there's a little tight rotation right there. We'll scope this storm as well to put the storm speed on it. Any reports from this yet, from this storm?
No, I haven't seen anything on the ground about that one.
But we do know that Paducah did take shelter for a little bit, so we're being backed up by a different office.
So, yeah, Paducah, that storm went right over their National Weather Service office. So, again, we're watching this storm. Cunningham, Highway 121, Highway 62, we're seeing the possibility of a tornado moving in your direction as well. Let's get back to the Paducah area. Brian, were you trying to talk to me? Not Brian. No. Brian, our director, who was directing me. Okay. Oh, yeah. So there's the storm that we're looking at in Paducah. I think this is where that rest area is. Interstate 24 right here. It's hard to tell if we had anything on the ground at that time. A low contrast, but it's kind of there's something right there. I don't know if that's rain but that would be the area that it was moving towards. So yeah. And again, we did have damage with this storm. All right, let's go back to Max 1. Thanks, Brian. And here would be the possible tornadoes right here on the northeast side of Paducah, moving right into the Brookport area, about to cross the Ohio River. It's getting a little farther away now from the radar, so we may be able to get a better velocity signature on it. Still not all that great. There's still a small couplet possible with it. But again, when these are so close to the radar, they're hard to see. And we are just seeing it's a very noisy radar picture right now from this storm. So until it just looks like it's not in a favorable environment, we just need to assume that we have a tornado developing or forming. And this is just to the east now of Interstate 24. This is the main part of the storm. This is where all the lightning, the heavy rain, the hail, this is what most people assume is the most dangerous part because of the dark red colors and the purple colors that are there. But that's not the worst part of the storm. The worst part of the storm is where the air comes into the storm, and that's right there. And that's headed right towards the Brookport area. Highway 45 that crosses the Ohio River. I imagine that this couplet is over you right now. This is going to move across the southern parts of Brookport and also into Unionville. So Unionville Road coming east of Highway 45 in southern Massac County. You need to be in your basement if you have a basement. If you don't have a basement, get to that center interior room on the lowest level of your home. A bathroom, a closet, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. The second tornadic storm we're watching closely is moving into the Cunningham area. And this earlier was showing a pretty good signature rotation. The reflectivity does not look as impressive on the backside, and it's very strong winds going through Cunningham right now, but the rotation does not look as tight as it did just 5 minutes ago. So hopefully that trend continues. Again, this area of the country is very vulnerable today. From western Kentucky all the way up through central Indiana, the atmosphere is primed for severe weather. And our tornado warning that we were watching for Gallatin County, that storm is now in Indiana. So it moved right along the river. We'll have to watch these storms, though, as well. They are intensifying just a bit, just to the west of the Ohio River. And then to the south of Paducah, we continue to watch this line try to redevelop along the Mississippi River. But our biggest concerns right now is we have a tornado warning for the Paducah area and the Cunningham area, also the Brookport area. These two storms have shown the most capability of producing damaging weather, and we have had a confirmed tornado that has caused damage near the Paducah area. Are we getting any more updates out of the Paducah area? I mean, I know they were taking shelter, but I don't know if maybe we
haven't seen anything, and I think that's probably a good sign, because if that tornado were still on the ground, I'm just guessing that we would have heard about more damage.
I would think so too. In a very heavy populated area right now, we would be getting, I would think, lots of reports of damage. But here are our two storms. You see this one right here, that's where the possible tornado is, and this one to the north side of Cunningham, basically taking the same path almost that this storm did. If you remember, we were watching this storm as it moved through southeastern Ballard County and northeastern Carlisle County into southwestern McCracken County. This storm has taken the same path. And again, it's the moist air feeding into this. We've got dew points there in the mid-60s. That's very volatile for severe weather down across southern Kentucky. And that air is feeding into these two storms. And there's a lot of spin in the atmosphere as well. If you remember, we've been talking a lot about the wind energy. We've been telling you for days how windy it was going to be today and yesterday, and that's that wind energy that's causing this possible severe weather.
As you well know, Grant, whenever we have a certain setup and then you have one storm that produces a tornado, immediately you have to start watching all of the storms, because they all have similar environments. So we'll have to really watch all of these storms this morning. Because they all have the same ingredients, right?
What was that, Brian?
Once you have one warning, one storm on the ground, then all of a sudden you know that all of those storms are going to have the same basic ingredients. We have to start watching all of the storms very carefully.
So we've got the mall. Everybody's in shelter at the mall right now. The storm has kind of moved out of that area. So but there's a new one headed that way. I'm not exactly sure where the mall is in Paducah, but I think Wibbs may know, or she knows some friends that know. I have not been to the mall in Paducah, so I don't want to.
Pretty close to where 60 and 24 come together there.
So it's going to be kind of right in this general area. So the next storm that's headed towards the mall, the rotation at the current path should stay just to the south. It looks like this storm is weakening now as it's going into Massac County. And we haven't, again, Brian, like you said, we haven't had any more reports, which is definitely some good news, because it went through the heavy populated area of the Paducah. And I would think if this was on the ground for a long period of time, we've got a lot of reports.
A report here again, and this is a repeat, major damage reported at the intersection of 62 and 286 from that cell. So since that's kind of almost a good sign, and that we haven't had any updates on any new damage reports.
Yeah, and it is weakening just a bit, but I'm kind of concerned that this spin is moving into this new updraft. There's a stronger storm here near Rosebud, and right now it's not in a favorable environment for a tornado, but once that other storm moves off, it very well could. And then the one to the north of it's not, that's to the west of Elizabethtown, we're not looking at the possibility. It doesn't look very tornadic as well. So let's back things out here real quick, get everybody caught up to date. Again, the tornado warning for Gallatin County, that storm is out of your area. The tornado warning that was for the Paducah area, that storm seems to be weakening just a bit as it moves into Massac County towards Polk County right now. And we've got another tornado warning where the rotation is not quite as impressive as it was, but it is still there. We have not had any reports of a tornado with that storm near the Arlington area. And again, we continue to track this line that's redeveloping. And something else we're going to have to be concerned with, we've had some flooding concerns in a few areas. You can see the Graves County is under a flash flood warning. Once this line moves a little farther south and east, we're going to see a training event probably of isolated supercell thunderstorms that will go into this flood-prone area, and we may see a heightened flood threat. as we head towards the late morning hours. So now we've got everybody caught up to date. Let's track these storms that are moving to the Paducah area right now. Again, that's where we have the 2 tornado warnings, and unfortunately it looks like we did get some damage. We did have signs on First Alert Southward Network, at least, of what appeared to be a debris ball, and it seems like it was. Now, they've extended the tornado warning, and I don't blame them based on this environment. They've extended the tornado warning to go towards the Salem area. You can see this is the storm right here that did produce a tornado, and it did cause damage. It looks like, from what my perspective is showing, that this rotation is about to be ingested by this stronger storm that's on the north side. And if that happens, we could have another tornado spin up right in this general area. So Highway 137, Highway 135. Again, we're in southern Illinois and western Kentucky. Let me back up, because I think this is Livingston County that I'm zoomed in on. I want to make sure that I am. So far, we got 1,000 customers without power. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about in Livingston and Crittenden counties is where we're going to be worried about this next tornado that could be developing right here. This is Highway 137 in Livingston County, and that's going to be headed towards 135 in Livingston County as well. You definitely want to be seeking shelter, getting in your safe spot. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. It really looks like this new storm that's developing is ingesting this little spin from this other storm. This storm had a lot of spin with it. It looks like it's weakening, and it may be overtaken by this new storm that is developing here in Livingston County. And so for Livingston County and Crittenden County, that's why that new tornado warning has been issued. We can kind of show you this right here, give you an idea. This is the storm. The new tornado warning goes out until 10:15 this morning. You can see that hook that's trying to develop right here. And once this kind of rains itself out, there'll be nothing to impede this storm from strengthening anymore. So we'll have to continue to monitor that very closely. And again, are they still tracking it at 55 miles per hour?
Yeah, 60.
60, yeah. I would say 60 is a pretty good clip for it. And this is going to go on the south side of Elizabethtown and Marion, Kentucky. This is going to go very close to you as well, especially just to the west. Now, the other storm we're watching that has the tornado warning with it is moving almost in the exact same area. So what's sad about this, or what could be, is the fact that the area that got hit is about to get hit with the storm itself. Heavy rain, lightning, and possibility of some hail with that area that just got hit by the tornado. This possible tornado is a little farther to the south. It would be right in this general area right here. Again, the previous tornado was kind of right along Highway 62. This one is moving just to the south, but it could head towards where 62 and 24 hit. And again, look how fast it's moving. That is where that rotation is. Brian, have you heard anything else on this rotation?
I was going to point out that the Storm Prediction Center has now issued a tornado watch ahead of that line for western Kentucky, just to make it official.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, that is that's good, because we were expecting that to be issued, as we have seen lots of some issues. Now, again, another site that is where the storm is going right over the radar site, which makes it hard to depict the exact location of rotation. So along Highway 62, yes, Brian, more information?
Power poles, this is official from a spotter. Power poles down at Kentucky Oaks Mall, so at least very strong winds.
And that would be, is that the mall?
That's the mall, very close to Tony.
So that would be with this previous storm right here.
That's right.
And let's see how this storm is handling now, because it looks like it's regenerating as it moves into Livingston County in western Kentucky.
That's very close to where 24 and 60 come together there.
Let's see here. 137, 763, these areas. Again, we're starting to see the winds are coming together right here. We're starting to see a brief coming together of the winds and rotation right here. It's not very strong, but again, this is in Livingston County. This is just on the east side of Highway 137, moving towards Highway 135, and along and north of Highway 763. Salem, you're officially in that tornado warning. Don't want to let your guard down, but based on the current movement, this rotation is going to go just to the north side. So if you live on the north side of Salem, along Highway 135,